Hours after deliberations began, a federal court jury has found John Hinckley Jr. innocent of trying to murder the president by reason of insanity. Here in Youngstown, negotiations resume tomorrow between the city and its safety forces after a long day of talks today apparently moved both sides closer to a wage agreement. Details on those stories, plus AccuWeather and sports, are just ahead on tonight's 21 Action News.
Our 12th anniversary, and Ted is still sweet, attentive, and rarely complains. So when he said his eyes were bothering him, I got worried and took him to the Pearl Vision Center.
Well, as I said, your eyes are an excellent...
The doctor gave him the best exam he'd ever had, too. You know, I wouldn't trust those baby blues to just anyone.
When she finds a good thing, she sticks with it.
Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
Know what's the best part of the chicken? The flank.
Let Long John Silver's put a smile on your taste.
Why settle for ground-up chicken patties? Long John's chicken planks are whole natural strips of chicken carved from the breast.
The best part of the best part.
Right now, you can get 4 chicken planks in our chicken dinner special.
Let Long John Silver's put a smile on your taste.
The best part of the chicken is the plank.
WFMJ, Youngstown. This is the 21 Action News Update with Dick Skelton, Steve Meckling with sports, and Larry Yeagley with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast.
Good evening. A federal jury today found John Hinckley Jr. to be innocent by reason of insanity and therefore not criminally responsible for his attempt on the life of President Reagan. The 27-year-old Hinckley will now be committed to psychiatric examination. Here's a late report from NBC News.
Hinckley threw his head back, eyes partially closed, as if to say thank God as the judge quickly read the verdict. His parents embraced and brushed away tears as the words not guilty by reason of insanity were recited as to each of the 13 counts. The jury was solemn and unsmiling as its verdict came after 8 weeks of trial and more than 24 hours of deliberations over 4 days. The judge set July 12th as the beginning of a process in which Hinckley will have to prove he is no longer dangerous if he is to be released, a process that can be renewed every 6 months. Hinckley's lawyers said nothing about their victory as they left the court. Police cars sped away, possibly containing Hinckley's parents or Hinckley, who will be placed in the District of Columbia Mental Hospital. 2 vans carried away the jurors who apparently were not convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that Hinckley could control himself when he shot the president and 3 other men on March 30th, 1981. One of the jurors talked about the verdict.
All I got to say, we just made the decision and it stands as it is now. That's it.
This is only the second time since 1835 that the insanity defense has been used successfully after a presidential assassination attempt, or for that matter, any nationally celebrated case. But this rare success may spur congressional efforts to weaken or abolish the insanity defense. Carl Stern, NBC News, Washington.
There may have been a breakthrough today in those labor talks between the city of Youngstown and its police and firemen. It came late this afternoon after a full day of bargaining behind closed doors. Jim Klepper has the latest.
As the participants filed into the mayor's office this morning, their self-imposed news blackout was still in effect. However, there seems to be a sense of urgency that now surrounds the bargaining due to increasing reports that the city's police and firefighters are ready to strike if the talks break down. As you may know, the administration is offering the safety forces a $450 lump sum payment for 1981 and a 7% pay hike for this year. The police and firemen are reportedly seeking 10% for 1981, 82, and 83, saying they only want parity with other departments in this area. Late this afternoon, the talks broke up, and there now seems to be light at the end of the tunnel.
We have made, in my judgment, definite progress. At this point, the differences remaining between the parties are very minor, in my judgment. We are coming back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock and see if we can iron them out, and I'm quite hopeful at this point. These things are very tricky, and anything can happen, but that's my personal feeling after being at the game for a while. And other than that, that's about all I want to say at this point.
Okay.
Attorney Power's statement was given the okay by the Vukovich administration. However, he would not discuss any details and says the news blackout is still in effect. This is Jim Klepper, 21 Action News.
The Israeli grip on Beirut tightened today as Prime Minister Begin arrived in Washington for discussions with President Reagan. The Prime Minister received a cool welcome at the White House with no top officials on hand to greet him as he arrived. Begin then met with President Reagan for close to 2.5 hours, during which time Mr. Reagan made it clear the U.S. is not pleased with the invasion or its consequences. A senior U.S. official did report agreement between the two leaders that neither Israel nor Syria should control Lebanon. The emphasis of the meeting was on agreement, as the president stated.
Be subjected to violence from the north, and the United States will continue to work to achieve these goals and to secure the withdrawal of all foreign forces from Lebanon.
We don't covet even 1 inch of Lebanese territory, and willingly we will withdraw our troops, all of our troops, and bring them back home as soon as possible.
Mr. Begin would not say today, however, when that will happen. For the time being, Defense Secretary Weinberger and other officials who wanted the president to criticize Israel publicly have lost out to Secretary of State Haig, who argues that only by being supportive can the U.S. exercise any influence over Israel at all. Judy Woodruff, NBC News, the White House.
One of the accused in the shooting of a Mahoning County Sheriff's deputy wants the charges dropped. That story's next in about 2 minutes.
Not yet. Now, just a minute. Okay, now, if you want to get your hands on a Grandwich, you know where to go.
The kids are sleeping, 'cause you take care of everything. Your wife is sleeping, 'cause you take care of everything. But you're not sleeping, 'cause you take care of everything. And that takes money for education, for the house, for vacations. Where will you get it? At City Loan and Savings. Call us tomorrow and get some sleep tonight. You've taken care of everything.
Introducing new Velveeta slices.
What you got there, little brother? Velveeta slices. Velveeta comes in slices? Maybe I'll have one. Oh? Roger, if you'll trade me, I'll make the bed. I already made it. Want to try my roller skates? They're pink. How about if I don't tell Mom you used her purse for second base?
New Velveeta slices with a taste you just wouldn't trade for anything.
There's an exciting free gift for you at your Bell Phone Center. It's the new Call Ahead Ohio Vacation and Travel Guide to help you plan a fun day or a complete vacation in Ohio. It lists places to go and things to see, zoos, museums, parks, caves, and phone numbers so you can call ahead before you travel, plus pages of festivals and special events. Stop at your Bell Phone Center to pick up your free copy and have fun in Ohio.
A motion has been filed in Mahoning County Common Pleas Court asking that charges against one of the men accused of killing a reserve deputy sheriff last year be dismissed. S.D. Harris is charged with involuntary manslaughter and escape for his part in the October shooting death of Deputy John Litch, Jr. His attorney, J. Gerald Ingram, says state law requires a speedy trial within 90 days of a suspect being jailed. And Ingram says his client has been behind bars almost twice that long with no trial date even being set. County prosecutor says the delay is because of defense motions, therefore does not violate the law's speedy trial provisions. Judge Henry Robinson has taken that motion under advisement. In Trumbull County Common Pleas Court, the prosecution today rested its case in the murder trial of 51-year-old John Steinman of Champion. He's accused of last summer's death of his 84-year-old mother. Prosecutors charge he let natural gas leak into her room, which exploded when she lit a cigarette. Tomorrow, the defense begins its presentation to the jury. The Newcastle Board of Education held a heated meeting tonight. Even though several residents objected, the board decided that it needs to save money, and the way to do it is to close a junior high school building next fall. Being closed is George Washington Junior High on the north side. Under the plan, all 7th and 8th grade students in Newcastle will attend Ben Franklin Junior High on the east side, and all 9th grade students will attend classes at the high school building. The school board did not say just how much money it expects to save by the closing, but did say the decision will affect the jobs of 2 administrators and 12 teachers. The administrators will